No more hola, baby. I'm not in Costa Rica. I'm over here in North Carolina in a deciduous forest. Very different, very beautiful. Different flowers, vegetation, different sounds, different birds. Mother Nature wearing a different dress. Oh, just gorgeous. Anyway, this is Astrology for the Soul for September 17th, 2025. A big week coming up here. We're still in the eclipse season. We have the solar eclipse coming up at the critical degree, the anorectic degree of 29 degrees and 5 minutes of Virgo. That is happening on Sunday, just before the equinox happening on Monday. Sun going into Libra. Wow. We are talking on the edge. We are on the edge, everybody. You've got to be feeling a little bit on the edge. Look at these guys. They're just doing just as fine and wonderful as they were before, and they will be afterwards. It's human consciousness, really. Planetary consciousness, the collective unconsciousness going through these big, massive changes. I mean, right now the moon is in Leo, and, she's there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, coming into Virgo on Friday, moving on through Virgo. And, of course, this whole thing is what? Opposite Saturn, Neptune. Oh, por Dios. Right? We got the Saturn and Neptune over there in Pisces, opposite the sun, moon, solar eclipse. I mean, what are the chances of that? And then, right, icing on the cake, they go into Libra, and what happens? They make a grand trine with Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius and Uranus at 1 degree of Gemini. We have an air grand trine. Sun, Moon, Pluto, Uranus, and don't forget Mercury. Mercury is also cruising right on through there. There's a grand trine with Mercury, Pluto, and Uranus going on today and tomorrow. Right? So, yeah, I mean, lots to talk about here. Lots to talk about. And if all of this was not enough, okay, we have Mars going into Scorpio, okay, and that's on next Monday. So, it's a whopping weekend. And then by Monday, like I say, Mars goes into Scorpio and what? Squares Pluto. Ay, carambas. Let me look at the camera and talk to you about it. Hello, everybody. Ow! What are you doing out there? How are you being out there? Are you balancing doing and being? Are you doing too much? Are you being too much? Get ready for Libra, balancing the scales. Oh my goodness. So what's going on now? Moon is in Leo here for a couple more days. Enjoy it while it lasts. Play, create, express, dance, gamble, take a chance, whatever. Get out and about because, okay, here comes Virgo, here comes Virgo. Yeah, it's going to be a really intense weekend. And intensity, let's not forget, there's a purpose for everything. And the purpose of intensity is to push, squeeze us, right? Squeeze like a turkey baster, squeeze that kundalini up, squeeze the lava up, squeeze things up from the deep unconscious. Everything we've suppressed and held back and controlled, okay, needs to come up, be seen, get to the surface. So we create intensity. And there's a lot of intensity on all of planet Earth right now. Yeah, demonstrations in London and Charlie Kirk and Ukraine and China. I mean, everything's blowing up, isn't it? You know, and what it is it's worlds colliding. It's like, you know, think of two planets, you know, crashing into each other. I mean, boom! Big, you know, massive earthquakes, volcanoes, everything going on. The whole Pacific Ring of Fire is lighting up. I mean, we are in very, very tumultuous times. There's no denying it. Okay, you know, we don't want to be hiding from it and be ostriches sticking our heads in the sand, or, you know, covering ourselves up under pillows. I mean, we are in it. We are part of it. And it is a challenge to be vulnerable. And here we come into what? Well, these worlds that are colliding, we can say they are dimensions colliding. We can say the third dimension is colliding with the fifth dimension. We can say timelines. Okay, you know, there's these timelines that, you know, it's like, it's a nexus happening. Yeah, like a nodal transition, as Tom Kenyon would talk about. But, you know, what this is about is what? Very easily, Saturn is the third dimension and Neptune is multidimensional reality. Neptune is material, physical, time, and space, and Neptune is spirit. You know, Saturn is Newtonian physics, cause and effect. Neptune is quantum physics. No gravity, no, totally different realities. And human beings, okay, in the consensus state, colliding with the individuated, colliding with the spiritual. There's just like so much of this, you know, and of course this last degree of Virgo is, you know, I don't want to lose myself. Like, you know, there's the whole first part of the cycle from Aries to Virgo is building up myself, my truth, my individual, unique expression. Here I am, you know, in this moon in Leo now, and you know, yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening here that says, yeah, I've done a lot of work on myself. But now it's time for the socialization process, right? You know, time to enter into society, enter into relationship, and come out of the subjective self into objective reality. And this can bring up a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety. I don't want to lose my truth. I don't want to be absorbed in this greater relationship, or in this, you know, maybe just a single relationship. I don't want to lose myself to this other person. I don't want to lose myself to society. I don't want to lose myself to, you know, this job. It's like I have to be part of. So we are at this threshold. It's a turning point where our own personal evolutionary process is now dependent upon our coming forth, offering, serving, giving, teaching, healing, but also listening, learning, adapting, okay, and, you know, really being very, very awake, okay, you know, and not losing ourselves, but then again, you know, not holding ourselves back. So this is this threshold, and we happen to be having a not a total, but a solar eclipse on the south node. Okay, this is a south nodal solar eclipse. in the springtime in the northern hemisphere, it will be a north node solar eclipse. So I talked about this before, right? That total lunar eclipse 2 weeks ago, Moon on her north node was super powerful. And the past was coming up, and emotions were coming up, and feelings, and, all kinds of memories. I mean, really. But now, okay, boom. I got to say, this is a time of closing doors. You may have relished. You may be sentimental. You may glamorize the past. Okay? You may have fond memories. But I'm telling you right now, this is a period of goodbye. And these goodbyes can be hard. It can be difficult. And you can, fear going out into, the world alone. Okay, or going out into the world, without this job or without this house or without this, group or community or family or, so it is really, it can be a very challenging time. But it is about saying goodbye to the past and opening new doors to the future. And, I have to read, this Sabian symbol is so powerful, okay, for this period, because it's a threshold experience. It's a turning point. It's a turning point. And you can see that this mantra for this week, the Sabian symbol for this week, is very much, geared towards this opening of the crown chakra, opening of the third eye, opening of our spiritual capacity to really enter into a higher dimensional realm and not be distracted, not be pulled into the past, not be pulled off track by the news, by the media, by Telegram or WhatsApp, or by social. This is a time where there is so much chatter, so much noise, so much mercurial, left brain. Oh, this is happening, that's happening, and don't lose track. Don't be left behind. Don't be found ignorant. Stay up to date. Don't get lost, out in some la land. But you know what? Listen to this. Yeah? Totally intent upon completing an immediate task. A man is deaf to any allurement. The keynote is the total concentration required for reaching any spiritual goal. This is the final symbol of the first half of the cycle. In the year cycle, the fall equinox is now at hand. Autumn begins. Through spring and summer, many ways and byways have been experienced. The summer of love, whatever. The last message of this hemicycle of individuation is that on all decisive occasions, what must be done has to be done so intently that no outer voices can penetrate the mind, still less the soul. The neophyte stands at the gates of the sacred pyramid. There is only one step he or she can take ahead, or they are lost. This is the culminating step, the decision that results from a myriad of small choices. Still, a shadow of hesitation can remain. Attention may be distracted from the now by a voice from the past, glamorizing some old memory. The outer doors of perception and thought must be closed so the soul can complete its, in great capital letters, conquest of illusion. Bum, 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 bum. So let's go into this conquest of illusion a little bit. I have been talking about this Saturn-Neptune conjunction for a long time. It really came around April, May, and June in particular. Now they are both retrograding back into Pisces to go forward in November, okay, and finally conjoin in the end of February in 2026. And this is the conquest of illusion. This is the end of illusion. This is the end of an old paradigm. This is a changing of the guard. And we have to understand there is a lot at stake right now. And we can see the forces, the powers battling for control. The fear of losing control. The old patriarchs, by God, they're all out there now, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah, whether it's these leaders, political, billionaires, social, scientific, pharmaceutical, whatever. There is this huge grasping going on as the patriarchy falls apart. I'm telling you right now, things are falling apart. There is a new paradigm emerging. There are new souls incarnating from far distant realms and galaxies. Okay, and they are called what? Special needs. Yeah, special needs, right? They're special needs because the system is not flexible, intelligent, awake enough to recognize or meet the needs of these we could even consider more highly advanced soul beings. But when the system and the current understanding of what it is to be human, of what it is to be balanced or successful or intelligent or, our whole educational system, our whole academic system, our whole social system is just completely inadequate. But rather than admit its own inadequacy, it creates new categories. It creates new drugs. It creates new, labels. Yeah, there's one, what is it? Schizoautonic. Oh, I just came into it yesterday, It's this mixture that it's just another label, right? That they're coming out, and then more drugs, okay, and more ways of dumbing down, more ways of killing, of stifling, of suppressing. Now this is this total solar eclipse happening in Virgo. It's a health crisis ruled by Mercury, a mental health crisis. Right? And this is, profound. And you may question. And everything out there may tell you to question. Oh, Doubt yourself. Doubt your intuition. Doubt your conscience. Doubt your mental, intuitive capacities. Right? And I want to encourage you to do absolutely the opposite. This is Saturn trying to control, categorize, limit, and put boundaries on Neptune. Hello. And this is very tricky waters here because Neptune is illusions, delusions, hallucinations, yes, and no. So we are entering, as we enter this new dimensional realm, as we enter this fifth dimension, as we, leave behind in some ways the constricted, restricted, third dimensional realities. Neptune rules the crown chakra and the feet, and we open up on both ends, to alternate timelines, alternate dimensional realities, alternate truth. We want to be very, very pure, very clear, very clean. This is such a time period, for the liver cleanse, the gallbladder cleanse, the kidney cleanse, the colon cleanse, any and every cleanse you can do. Yeah, do a fast, just do a water or just nothing for a few days. And really enter this very powerful solar eclipse. Just had a big clunk, man. Things dunking in the river. Okay, anyway. So that you are clear. Turn off the media. Head out into the woods. Listen to a stream. Listen to nothing. Play your hong. Play your gong. Play your, crystal bowl. Right? So, my song for this week, I just pulled up, there's another, man. Things are dropping into the creek here. It's called the Sound Bath playlist on Spotify. And the first song that I pulled up was One with Simplicity. The next one was Dream. Yeah. I want to encourage you. My song for this week is any song with no words, no lyrics. We don't want to stimulate the left brain into conversation, into thoughts, into memories, into planning the future. This is about really coming into the now. The solar eclipse. It happens where I wrote it down. 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, on Sunday. 4 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. It's going to be 6 or 7 over in the UK and Europe in the evening. Set aside this time period. Set aside a couple hours there as the moon, passes over the sun, blocks out those solar rays, and this energy from deep space can come in. And make no mistake about it, there are both chaotic energies, but we're moving into this place beyond polarity, of moving into a place of simply accepting what is. Accepting what is. And let's have that begin with ourselves. Please accept yourself as you are, perfectly imperfect. And stop this striving. Yeah, and come into this place I had a great experience yesterday, of I blew it. And rather than go into self, flagellation and shame and guilt and, oh my God, I made a mistake and I'm bad and I'm wrong and, they're going to shame me and hate me and reject me and punish me and da da da. Instead of, it's like I didn't even go there. Like, don't even go there. Open ourselves to forgiveness, to compassion, to, oh my God, they'll understand. Everybody is stressed out. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody is, getting overwhelmed. It's like, so you know what? Suffering, just like war or pestilence or starvation or poverty, it can bring us together rather than divide us. United we stand, divided we fall. And if our back should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, together, you and I. I forget what song that is. United we stand. Yeah? Times of tribulation can bring compassion. And we have to admit, and this is, one of my greatest teachers and teachings, you must be vulnerable to experience the mysteries of life. This is Neptune. This is Pisces. This is the north node of the moon in Pisces right now. Be vulnerable. Be humble. Don't try to come in, I've got the answers. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm, polarity. Get into this third. No. Neptune is humility. Pisces is devotion, discipleship. And Saturn, Neptune is spiritual discipline. Right? I'm gonna. So, everything is pointing to this whole arena of discipleship, of discipline, and disciplining our mind, controlling our thoughts, stilling the mind. I know meditation is hard. The less you do it, the harder it is. The more you do it, the easier it is. You stop thinking. You can do it. One way is breath. Stop breathing. Suspend the breath, empty out the breath, and extend those periods of time at the top of the breath, at the bottom of the breath, where there is no breathing, no movement, no breath. It really helps to stop the brain, stop that left brain, stop that thinking, stop those distractions, and come into the now. I mean, in some ways we could look at Saturn as the past. Neptune is in some ways the future. Colliding. These worlds colliding, the past and the future collide right here now. Boom! Turn off this freaking video and just shut up. Yeah, my favorite mantra is shh. Just go into shh. Another one, I love the candle meditation. Okay, if you can't, close your eyes or keep your eyes, at half mast, partially open so you don't fall asleep, right? Another one is to just stare at a candle. Stare at a candle. It's a beautiful, strong, powerful meditation having to do with the sun. And another one that Rudolf Steiner, brought forward is the stone meditation. Any stone will do. Yeah. Pick up a stone, pick up a rock, and simply stare. Don't, and try not to even blink. You don't have to blink near as much as you think. Anyway, stare at a stone. Enter into stone consciousness, mineral consciousness. Could be a crystal, a quartz crystal, right? Any kind of crystal, or a gem, an opal, shungite, right? Something, your favorite crystal. Just stare. Focus. Concentrate. Remove all distraction. Let go. It's hard. We cling to our thoughts. We cling to the past. We cling to an identity. We cling to, it's like being vulnerable, like letting go of thought, okay, is really like, what am I if I'm not thinking? What am I if I let go of, this, the ego loves this thought and thinking. It's like a transistor that's, plus or minus the square wave. Ones and zeros, yes or no, black and white, in or out. Yes, you get out of that left brain, Mercury, and you will open up to the higher octave of Mercury is Uranus, and open up into this grand trine. Mercury, trine, trine, Uranus, Pluto, Sun, Moon, trine, Uranus, Pluto, in the air signs of clarity. Woo! So we can turn this around, folks. Yes, there's a lot of pain and chaos and overwhelm and distortion and all kinds of craziness and power games and suffering and illness and death and but I want to encourage you, right? Don't forget, the soul is eternal, and we are a soul being, a soul spiritual being. Do not overly identify with the temporal, the temporary physical, emotional, mental bodies. We've had 100 of them. We've had 1,000 of them. This body's going to come and go. It's going to get screwed up, fucked up, grow old, get saggy, raggy, ill, The sooner we, identify our identity as a soul spirit being, the better off we're going to be. I'm telling you, baby. Ow! My search for the miraculous has led me here right now to pierce the veil that separates worlds and to teach each other how. United we stand, together we are, So let's do our inner work. Let's pierce the veil. Let's go beyond into spiritual worlds, knowing the tumultuous transitional time here on earth needs us to be in our highest frequency, our highest truth, our highest essence, to be of greatest service to our fellow brothers and sisters. Don't forget, just like in the plane, you take that oxygen mask and you take care of yourself first. And when you are there, when you are clear, when you are calm, when you are collected, then you turn around. Don't burn yourself out. Don't push yourself. Oh, I got to show up for so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so until I'm a ragged wreck. You're not helping anybody by screwing yourself. So don't get into false ego trips of rescuer savior bullshit. You will lose in the end. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Ow! One last time, hasta luego, baby. My search for the miraculous has led me here right now to pierce the veil that separates worlds and to teach each other how. You can't teach what you don't know and haven't done, or you're just a puppet. So we got to do it so we can teach it. So let's make it happen. We can make it happen. We can make it happen. Yeah. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.
They're really wanting to expand how much
because there's already a commercial kitchen.
Yeah, they're wanting to double the amount of stuff that's there. So that whole common space, there's the kitchen and there's that they're gonna partition into multiple rooms. So so I get there and she's got a folder full of all the equipment she wants to buy that Michael didn't know about until yesterday morning. It was so all the specs that he had summarized in the email. So I was like, well, maybe I can fit all that. It's not too much. And she's got all this heavy equipment she wants. And I was like, oh. So I spent some time looking at the service and what's available. And I was like, I don't know how much of this is going to fit. And I was like, you got to do a load calculation. It takes half a day to do. It's a lot of math. And I have to get all this. I have to get all horsepower and wattage of all the equipment. And then apply all these different formulas, different kinds of equipment, and look it up. It's a thing. So, but it has to be done to know what's even possible to add here. So